what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Lost Holocron podcast. We took a week off last week. Needed some time away,
We had
but
adulting to do.
we did have adulting to do.
Sounds a little
we
mysterious.
It does, doesn't it? That's why I was just gonna say. We took a little time away, but we are back, continuing our journey through the Bad Batch season 3. We have 3 episodes for you this week. It's like the first week all over again. But before we get to that, let me introduce my co-host, starting with AJ. How you doing today?
You know, took a long ass nap. Didn't mean to. I feel pretty good.
I feel
That's
that.
One of
fair.
those days where you just exhausted and you just knock out without even knowing. That's how I
Hmm.
was earlier. But I
Yeah.
feel good now.
That's good.
I
Yeah,
won't be up until like 3 o'clock again though. But hey, it
Hey,
is
that.
what it is.
that's how you're
Yeah.
gonna end up taking a nap tomorrow.
Nah, I got work tomorrow.
Oh yikes! Well, you just gonna be tired.
Just try to go to sleep.
Yeah, I feel you though. I definitely took a quick nap. I had my cousin's birthday party earlier today.
Hey,
It,
happy
Shout out to
birthday.
Digits cousin.
so that was fun, and then I got back and I was like, all right, yeah, we're gonna podcast at 7 my time, and then I woke up at 6:55, and I was like, oh crap.
How deep? How deep?
So it is what it is. But Jamie also is here with us, joining. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I see you're also wearing green. I think we're wearing green for 2 different reasons. Insomnia had a thing where if you wear green, go in store, you get a free cookie. So
Oh yeah, we're for sure wearing green for 2 different
yeah,
reasons.
yeah. I made that little walk, get myself a cookie, and then I dipped. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay, I'm wearing green because I looked in my closet and said, "Oh, here's a good shirt, green,"
Oh,
and
okay.
it just
There
happened
you
to
go.
be green.
Hey, it's fate. St. Patty's Day is tomorrow.
It is. Are you going to get you some corned beef and cabbage, the both of you?
Nah.
No.
Uh,
I will
I'm not
not.
either. I know my parents said they're making some. My dad was like, "Yeah, if you want some, you can always stop by." I'm gonna stop by, but I don't think I want any corned beef or cabbage. So,
I didn't know
um,
that was a thing. Interesting.
let me find out that it's not. I have my dad makes it every year. Maybe somebody Irish will jump in the comments and let us know if it is or isn't. I'm
Yeah, let
curious
us
now
know.
because you might have just shook my beliefs. But before we get into the 3 episodes, let's just run down some of the quick Star Wars news that are out there. We'll start first with the Battlefront disaster. That's what I'm gonna kind of call it because it's the Star Wars Battlefront. I think they called it like the Classics Collection or whatever.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So that was ported over to modern consoles, and somehow it just was horrible. They didn't have servers. Like I think I read that there were 2 servers that could fit like 64 people or something. And so it was just matchmaking disasters, people getting kicked out of games, all of the typical stuff that's happening. And I guess I'm super confused. This wasn't a remake. It was, I guess, like you said, a remaster,
Mm-hmm.
but nothing really made sense for this to be as bad as it was. AJ, I know you said that you saw this coming, so I'm curious. Why did you see this coming?
It's just doing like a remaster. I think it's just one of the laziest things you can do for a video game, just to make a quick buck. It's just why. It- like I don't understand that concept of just, hey, I guess it's just to make money, but if you already have the game, then why do you need to get it again for another system that doesn't even look
I'll
as
see that.
yeah.
That's the thing, though. If you have the game from like the original release, you're
Mm-hmm.
not going to be able to connect to any multiplayer servers. So a lot of
Right.
OGs that played this game back in the day, they were looking forward to this remaster because it's like, okay, they'll have new servers. I'll actually be able to play online with friends. It'll be this
Mm-hmm.
cool thing.
How many
Um,
people will actually want to go back to it though? That's the thing.
There are a
Like,
lot of people
there's a
excited.
lot. There's a
Like
lot, yeah.
I honestly, I wasn't. I have so much in my back catalog, so I wouldn't have bought it at release. But I would have loved to go back to play Battlefront 2 again,
Mm.
and been able to actually play multiplayer online with a bunch of people.
See, if they just build it back up, sure, it will cost more money, but you will have a different result, though. You'll make
Hmm.
more money in the process as well. So I just don't understand why you need to. Remakes are just lazy to me. I don't like it. I don't like it.
So did you
Or
also hate the
remasters, you
final?
mean?
Yeah, I was gonna say because now I was gonna ask you, did you hate the Resident Evil remake?
Remake is different from a remaster. Once
You said
again,
Yeah.
it,
remake. That's all. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah,
okay, remaster,
remaster. Sorry,
remaster.
I apologize.
Okay, I thought you were lumping them both together for a
No,
second.
no,
That's
no,
why I
no.
was
Those two are
confused.
like they're two completely different things. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, remasters, just pure on not doing anything new, not building it from the ground up or anything,
yeah.
just pure remastering. Okay, I can. In light of this, I can get behind that.
Hmm.
Like I said, I definitely would have been like, oh, this would have been fun to play. I don't know if it should have been $40. I think it was $40, and it
Probably. Hopefully,
That's another
not more
thing.
than
Why is it
that.
so fucking expensive?
I
I think
also could
it's
be
3 games, right? That comes in it for
two.
to oh.
There are only two
Sure, I
Battlefront
guess
games.
$20 each. I guess.
Yeah, that's still not too bad for like dated games like that. I probably would have wanted it to be more closer to like 30, something like that.
It was
But
35.
okay, we're getting there.
I'll I will correct myself. It was 35.
Okay.
That's still
So
better though. 35.
yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
you're looking at about 17 a game instead.
Yeah.
17.50 a game
Yeah.
instead. I think it got some bonus maps or whatever.
Okay.
I think they added some characters and stuff too. So like it isn't like they just pure were like this is that game done all over again. They tried to add some stuff, but clearly it failed. So
Hmm.
hopefully it can. I don't know.
Also, this is my other
Uh-oh.
issue.
I
This is
didn't know
my
you
other
had
issue.
more than one issue.
This is my other issue with this shit right here.
Hmm.
You're focusing on that, where you can just be focused on a new game that you need to focus on at this point because you have nothing else. So
Oh, I would love another Battlefront. You're right.
Yeah.
exactly. Well,
I don't think and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the newer Battlefronts that came out 2014, 15, I don't know, something like that. I don't think they did that well. I know part of it, at least the complaints that I was hearing, was about the like monetization of the game and all of the microtransactions that at least the first one had. I'm not sure if that same stigma followed the second one, but I don't know. I don't know if they got enough like return on their investment with those first two that they would want to make another one.
but
So
you decide to do a remaster though.
Well, that's because it's like that's like supposed to be a guaranteed hit because it's like you're not redoing anything, you're not changing anything. You're throwing in a couple new characters, you're supposed to have made enough servers for everybody to play, and just give people the ability to play this game that they can't. A lot of
I just
people can't
figure
really
people will
access
get.
right now.
I just feel like people will get jaded out quickly though. It's like it's nothing. People want something new. That's just
yeah.
sure you get the
Mhm.
nostalgia base out of it, but ultimately that doesn't really get you anywhere if it doesn't utilize anything that's that helps with this current generation of systems. Like this
Yeah,
once
I
again,
think
I just don't like the laziness concept of it.
like the other thing about it too is there's been like a huge game preservation movement within
Yeah.
the gaming community. And so just remastering, I feel like we might not see a lot of remasters within the next like 3 or 4 years, but in the future, I feel like we'll see a lot more. Just because these game companies are trying to preserve a lot of these older games that keep getting like erased or delisted, like with what's happening with Warner Brothers and some of their Adult Swim games. So
Yeah.
I'm not super mad about remasters because you know they already said what they aim to do with it. They're not trying to do anything groundbreaking or anything. Now, if it was a remake, and it was closer remastered, then I would be upset because I'm like, okay, you're supposed to have like rebuilt something, and it seems like you just made the same thing again, and I'm charging you $60.
Yeah.
That's my standpoint on it.
Also, to answer your question about the Battlefront remake, or I can't even call them remakes, I guess reboots. The first one did actually sell really well. All of the microtransaction stuff that you're remembering, that was all on the second one.
That's weird.
So the first one, yeah, it is. Clearly, they just because the first one it sold pretty well. They never gave concrete numbers, but they kept saying that their target for a second one was 13 million. Clearly, we got a second one. And at one point, it was the fastest selling Star Wars game like in the franchise. The second one, like you said, it had all of the microtransaction stuff, all of the backlash. It still sold 9 million by December of 2017, which I think it came out. I can't remember when in 2017, but that's definitely the same year. So it sold marginally okay. Obviously, all support they supported it up until 2020, so it was probably still selling enough where they felt like they can put development dollars to it.
Yeah.
But what that means in terms of another one or even just revisiting the series as a whole, I don't know what that means.
The game itself wasn't bad. Actually, it was great. The only
I enjoyed the
criticisms
game a
that I've
lot.
heard was microtransactions, and that was
Hmm.
about it. So,
The game was great. I love the storyline. I thought the
mhm.
multiplayer was fun. Like, I didn't have you. I had day because I remember I bought it at lunch. So I had at launch. I had day of like issues connecting, but I think that's because
Mhm.
so many people bought it.
Yeah.
Everybody was trying to get on, but I want to say by the end of that week, I was fine with getting into games. Like I didn't have any issues. Like you said though, the microtransactions really soured a lot of people's opinion towards it, and I don't know if they ever recovered.
This is a hot take, but I wouldn't mind them doing like a what is it called, live service for Battlefront. So instead of like doing, you have to buy multiple packages. You just do what Overwatch does. You could just do the $30 for that
Mm,
specific month or a specific season, and you can just earn all your stuff through that instead of like just buying packages on packages. I feel like that's a smarter play for a Battlefront game than anything.
fair.
But I know a
Um,
lot of people don't like live service games. So, well,
It's
yeah.
the
But
concept
that's the
of live
thing.
service.
It's interesting because people claim that they don't like live services games, but Helldivers has one of the
Yeah,
quickest
exactly.
PlayStation launch titles ever.
Yeah.
Like, I was just reading an article on it, I think I I want to say that it might have beat God of War. Granted, it launched on PlayStation 5 and PC at the same time,
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
but the fact is, for all of these people who claim that they don't love live service games, it's they don't like bad live service games. It's that same thing with anything.
And
Somebody
there's a
says they
lot of
don't
them
like
out
some,
there.
yeah,
There's a, there's
Yeah.
100%.
a lot.
Yeah.
So
But once though, where you get those good ones, a lot of people don't stop playing
right,
them. Destiny has been out for like 12 plus years, still going now. You have Overwatch 10, maybe, yeah, 10 plus years, still going on. You have
Fortnite.
Fortnite, yep.
Yeah.
Hell,
PUBG,
I was just gonna say people don't talk
Apex.
about it a lot, but PUBG is still definitely going on. They're doing a rework. Um, so
Warframe as well.
Warframe, that's for sure, still going
Yeah.
on.
Like,
So there's definitely a lot that you can do. I actually wouldn't mind them going that route either, just because I want another Battlefront game for sure. It is disappointing that this one or that this classics collection wasn't good because I kind of wanted to get it at some point.
I mean, there is the possibility that they can, after a couple of patches, like everything will. I don't know about the servers because that costs money and
yeah.
allocation of
Hmm.
space and all of that. So I don't know how easily that will go over, but hopefully any of like the bugs and stuff that are in the game now they can iron out. And the servers might be like a long term issue they have to try and work with.
At this point, you just need to cut it out. There's no point of continuing that and just make little money where you can make what I said. Just make a live service game, and that will continuously get you revenue that will help out your situation or anything like that. But I'm not one of these heads, so what do I know?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Let's continue on with another piece of unfortunate news. Well, maybe
Damn.
unfortunate news. I don't want to say unfortunate because I'll say it and then we'll let the people decide how they feel about it. The Mandalorian season 4 has been shelved in replacement for the Mandalorian and Grogu. So Brendan Wayne, who is the body double for the actual suit, obviously Pedro Pascal just spends most of his time only doing the voice.
Hmm.
And then the random scenes where his helmet may be off, that's when you'll get Pedro. He appeared on a podcast recently, and the gist of it was he confirmed that he's going to again be the body double in the movie. But at the same time, he kept saying that he keeps hearing about, obviously people kept saying, "Oh, it's gonna film in June. It's gonna film in June," and basically he was saying that there's no major plans for that. Like, unless they're canceling him for season 4, but then bringing him back for the movie, you would think he would
Mm.
know that by now.
Yeah.
Um, but he said basically everything that he knows is that all steam ahead is for the movie rather than a season 4 and then the movie. Jamie, you were very disappointed to hear this.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, what makes this sad for you when you know we're getting the movie?
Well, did I feel like we don't get as good characterization in movies just because like you have a very finite amount of time to try and push the plot forward, like have some character development for all the characters that'll be present, which I feel like it's going to be quite a few with like Ahsoka and Boba Fett and like all of these people coming together for this film.
Well, this
And
shouldn't be just before that. Sorry to cut you off. This shouldn't
uh,
be that movie. So this shouldn't be the movie
oh,
that brings in
oh,
the
this is just him
Ahsoka.
and
This
Grogu.
is so. This is it. The movie is literally just called The Mandalorian and Grogu. So
Mm,
I know again, this is we're still assuming there still should be that movie that culminates what we were
yeah.
calling the Filoni verse.
Okay.
So
That's a
maybe
little bit
I'm
better.
hoping maybe that helps her.
It
Okay, okay.
does, but it's still like, not as much time to
Hmm.
develop these relationships. And I feel like me personally, like I really enjoyed the first season of The Mandalorian. The second season, he was like Aaron Boy of the Galaxy, and that was not very fun to watch, in my opinion. And then the third season, we are kind of coming back around, but I still have not achieved the high of that first season, in my
Okay.
opinion. Um, and so I kind of wanted to like end off on a good note before like trying to go to any movies where like we wrap up the story or like whatever it might be transitioning to or like building up to the like Filoni verse movie. So it's a little bit sad in my opinion, but it's not like I'm upset like, oh, I'm not gonna watch this anymore. I can't believe
Right.
they would do this kind of thing.
Right.
But
I get
yeah.
you.
I'm definitely
Age
more of a TV person than I am movies too, so that's part of it too.
mm, I can understand that. AJ, you kind of had a different reaction. You were just kind of like, we're still getting it. I don't care. You want to expand upon that a little bit?
Nah, it wasn't that. I actually thought that we wasn't gonna get season 4. I thought that this movie was going to replace season 4. Um,
Okay.
I'm with Jamie a little bit that you do get a little bit of more characterization with the characters in TV series, but we've already got that. We already have 3 seasons of that, so
Mm,
I'm good with the movie, and I'm not saying that you won't get any characterization with the movie because you definitely will. You can look at previous Star Wars movies. A lot of those characters are well crafted, well developed, and everything. You can look at the recent Dune movies, I should say now. All of them are well crafted, well developed. It's not so. I'm not saying that you won't get as much, but I feel like you'll get better quality with the movie with characterization more so than actual just more characterization with the characters, because you have to do a little bit less to get your point around. So I'm with Jamie a little bit, but not
Hmm.
fully. Um, sure. This isn't for like concrete at all right now.
Yeah,
So
this, to be fair, this is all still just going off of what he said on the podcast.
yeah,
And who's to say that he just maybe his agent just hasn't hit them like, yo, actually you start filming for that in June.
it'll be funny if he got that call after that podcast. Like, hey, season 4, you gotta get ready for it.
Right, right.
That would be crazy.
So yeah, it's not concrete or anything, but honestly, do we need a season 4? Personally, I don't think so. A movie will help tie everything together,
Hmm.
and
I can understand that.
we can just get past, once again, this is still part of the Skywalker series arc, so we can still get past this. Try to go work on High Republic, Old Republic, something of that sort. So that's what I'm hoping. I just I just need a new era at this point, which we are getting with Ray
Right.
Skywalker. Shout out, love her. And a lot of people don't, but it is what it is.
That's fair. I totally get it. I think I'm in that camp where it's like at least we're getting still something. I would have been more upset if they would have said like, "Oh, season 4 isn't happening," if we didn't know the movie was coming. So it's like, all right, cool. Focus on the movie then. Make sure that movie is good. Let's get this saga done with. Not because I need it to end, but like AJ said, I'm ready for the new. I'm ready to get outside of this era, and the longer we keep throwing in and adding extra projects to it, the more we're just never going to grow. So I fully understand that.
It also shows the lack of creativity Lucasfilm has for their TV shows and movies, unlike their novels or comic books as well. I wish they can go a little bit freely with their live action stuff.
Right. That would be great.
That's fair. Well,
Our
hope y'all get what y'all want.
all right. I hope we're all happy.
Yeah.
But let's go to our last bit of news. Happier note, maybe,
Yay.
depending on how you
Oh,
feel about this filmmaker.
Once again,
dang.
uh, Patty Jenkins, also on another podcast. It's crazy
Dang.
how much podcasts are breaking news for people nowadays.
Yeah.
Um, she spoke on first. She was speaking on sort of the fall of Wonder Woman, the third
Oh,
movie,
oh boy.
and she was saying that following the dissolution of that film, obviously we know it's completely dead. That Rogue Squadron is back on, which interesting because I think it was last year that we had heard that Disney put it from its release schedule. Clearly, we hadn't heard anything for a while, but she did say that it's once again in development and that she owes Disney a script. So it
Mm.
sounds like it's, I won't say further along than we expected because we thought it was dead, but it sounds like it's in active development. And she didn't really give a date on when the script is due or anything, but obviously it's full on in the works. And you know what? I for one am happy. I'm happy for any Star Wars project. We didn't know any much about it, but it'll be good to get another project on the boards. Hopefully, it stays this time. But AJ, we'll go right back to you. How are you feeling about this news?
I
Okay, I'm
I
sorry.
just wish they'll make up their mind at this at
Fair.
this point. Like, I understand that the Wonder Woman 3 was canceled thanks to the new era of DCU, the new era of Warner Brothers.
That can't be the reason. It's definitely because 19, whatever it was, 1994,
84.
84,
That
it
could
was
be part of
bad.
it. It can be it can be an either or.
It definitely it should have been the reason number one, in my opinion. Reason number one why it's not coming back.
Sure, I guess that's fine.
Yeah.
Um, sure. Let's just go with that then. That's the reason why it was canceled. We'll go with that.
Okay.
um,
I don't think that that's the case, but
I, I don't either, but I'm gonna cater to Jamie for a
I'm
little
just
bit.
saying reason number one. There's multiple, but that's number one on my book.
So I think it's good for her to revisit this, especially since during I think it was during Star Wars Celebration where they
Mm,
actually brought up the Rogue Squadron stuff, and
yeah.
it looked like Patty Jenkins was very excited to do this movie.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So for her to come back and actually work on it, I'm excited for her. Love the passion that she's gonna bring to it and everything. But once again, it's still stuck in this air. It's still stuck in the sky. Like,
So to be well, no, I guess you can't have Rogue Squadron. You can't use that name for anything else. You're right.
yeah, it's.
You're right.
I swear, it's like Lucasfilm is tunnel vision right now. It's
So wait, I want to ask like why you guys think it's gonna be locked into the Skywalker saga because I'm not familiar with the Rogue Squadron and anything else.
So the Rogue Squadron itself is a Rebel Alliance squadron. Like it's
Mm,
so like I said, I guess theoretically you could make it an entirely new group
sure.
and say like they took homage from that group, whatever. But
mm-hmm.
it'd be really weird because we, especially let's say they were going into the future. We don't know of what war they're going to be in. Is this how you're going to announce a new squadron, like a war type situation?
Mm,
And conversely, I guess if you go into the past, then you sort of retcon like how the Rogue Squadron that we know today, how they got their name, and there was never any alluding to like, well, we took our name to homage from this old group or whatever.
mm,
So it'll just create a lot more than you really need to.
mm.
It's easiest to like, okay, yeah, this is a movie about them, but then like AJ said, we're just smack dab in the middle of right back in the Skywalker saga because once again, this group is founded by Luke, so
Oh well,
you can't take that part out.
well.
Good old tunnel vision. It's only Anakin at this point. Jesus Christ.
That's
So with
funny.
that being said, Jamie, AJ's on the fence from what it sounds like. How are you feeling about this news?
I don't think I feel either way. I wouldn't say I'm on the fence because I'm like, oh, I'm scared. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be bad. I feel like I'm just like looking at the fence. So I'm like, oh, okay, like this could be cool. I guess
That's a
it's
funny way
potential
to
out
put
of
it.
10.
Oh my
It's
god,
potential out of 10.
Isaac
um,
really cooked with that
he
man.
really did. That was excellent. That's line of the year. But yeah, I mean, it sounded interesting to me
Hmm.
when they announced it at Star Wars Celebration a couple years ago, I believe. Along with some of the other Star Wars movies that I don't know the progress of, but at this point, it feels like most of the Star Wars investments have been put into like the TV shows that we've seen.
Mhm.
So I'm just kind of, I'm just kind of hanging out till we get another movie again. So I don't believe that's gonna be Rogue Squadron from the sound of it because he said like she's working on the script again. She
Yeah,
owes Disney a script, so like it doesn't sound like it's coming soon.
no,
But
no,
I'll be looking forward to it.
nice. Well, let's get into the reason why we're all here. Let's start talking the Bad Batch. We'll start with episode 5. That was the return. Basically picked up right from where episode 4 ended.
Oh
And we had some predictions,
yeah.
and I don't think any of us were right. You know, we had
Once again.
so I want to jump right back into that one. We didn't get the fight that we expected. First off, I know Jamie. I think you were thinking it was going to lead directly into a fight.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. It feels like it's forever ago that we watched
It
the
does.
fourth episode, but I definitely felt like they were gonna pick up with that tension that they left off
Mhm.
on episode 4, and it's like no, they just pretty much kept it pushing. It still definitely wasn't like we're brothers, we're cool after that, but a lot of that like I need to hit him kind of energy left. I feel like after episode 4.
Yeah, it was a lot of this one. It kind of felt fillerish. Like they were, I forgot what
Mm,
planet they were on, but they were, they were trying to figure out, okay, we're back together. What's the lay of the land? What's this mission that we need to figure out? Crosshair was doing his whole training thing, trying to figure out, do I still got a shot?
yep.
Spoiler alert, he does not. But he was trying. And then that's when was it a worm? What kind of monster was that? Because that was
Yeah, it
the
was kind of a worm. Yeah, it was
that
a
was really
worm.
like the big thing of the episode
Hmm.
was this worm or whatever you want to call it was attacking wasn't really attacking the base. It was attacking just around it was just in they were in its area, and so when they left the
Yeah.
safety of the base, it was like, well, you're in my territory, I'm attacking. And I
Yep.
think it was sort of to show, like, this episode really felt like, okay, we got to restart the bonds all over again.
Hmm.
um like, Crosshair, he had to save, was it Hunter he had to save? Who fell
Yeah,
into
it
the
Hunter,
was
yes.
hole?
Hunter.
Okay.
Hunter.
Yeah, so like he had to save him. um like I said, it was all about reforging the bonds after they had been severed for so long.
Yep.
So, AJ, give me your thoughts on the episode. I know you didn't get a chance to watch it with Jamie and I. Life, like you said, happened, but I'm really curious. How did you feel about it?
I loved it. For me personally, I thought that they handled that relationship, that dynamic, that tension very well between Crosshair and Hunter. Not much Wrecker, which is fine
Yeah,
because
Yeah, I thought that was kind of
he's
funny.
easy to forgive, so that's
Hmm.
fine.
Like
But
cool with Omega, cool with me.
that's really how it feels with him. He's just like, oh, okay, we're not mad no more. All right,
bet
Yep.
cool.
he be chilling. He like a little kid. I like it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But that tension between Hunter and Crosshair, I really did enjoy, and their overall development throughout this episode was well done as well. I thought personally, um, seeing Echo again, badass. Love Echo. Shout out, my man's been through a lot. One of the greatest clones out there.
A
Um,
lot is an understatement.
yeah. Like I said, yeah, I give him a shout out every single time he is. But yeah, I thought this episode worked very well. It kind of felt a little Dune-ish to me
Yeah,
with
with
the
the
worm,
worm.
With the worm,
but
I could see
Hmm.
it.
but it is what it is. It is what it is. So yeah, I just love their relationship. Art design was amazing. I thought it worked very
Hmm.
well. So yeah,
I will say the only small thing I didn't like with the episode was that I'm mad that the worm was just by sound. Like that
Mm.
was really what drove it away at the end. Like nothing, it wasn't like an actual offense or anything. I was just like, oh, that's it. All
it's
right.
still vibration. It wasn't
Just
sound or vibration. I guess it's a little bit.
it said Sonic. Like I don't. So,
Yeah,
like I
something
said,
like
it was nowhere near enough that I was just like, man, this is terrible. I was just like,
I
oh,
mean,
that's it. All right.
it was like they couldn't beat it anyway.
Yeah,
Gunfire
that's true.
that.
wasn't working.
Yeah,
Nothing
that's
was working.
true.
So
Hmm.
they had to figure out a way around that. So,
I honestly thought that it was like an actual force field though. I think that was just
That's what I thought
my
too.
own ignorance, I guess.
it was still a force field. It was more like a sound force field though.
Yeah,
So
it's
Yeah,
fair.
because Crosshair said it was like something to keep out the like raiders, and so I thought it was like an actual like a physical force field.
Yeah. So that sound must just be that annoying. One
That's
thing
like,
I also want to know, because I wrote it down, there was also a prediction that Asajj was going to show up. That's going to be a
mm.
recurring theme for these 3 episodes.
ah.
um, Prediction 1, that did not happen. So
You
before
don't. Maybe Asajj, her and the worm are tight. You
Look,
know.
eventually I'll be right. Okay, eventually.
Exactly. Blind
so
squirrel finds a nut eventually.
Watch it be the last episode. I would be
that'd
so.
be
Bro.
insane.
I
Yeah,
would
that
be
would
so
be like approaching May. That's a long time to know
That's a
Asajj.
long time.
That's a long time.
So let's jump right ahead into episode 6. Like I said, episode 5 was really just on that.
Mhm.
Episode 6 starts its infiltration. That's the episode title. And this is where I think we found out episode 4. Either way, we knew earlier in the series that the Empire was sending somebody to go and pick up Omega. I don't
Mhm.
think she really cared. I don't think they really cared about anybody else. They just want to get her back, kill everybody else. She needed to come back alive. And it started off with the meeting with some of the senators, and that's where you have the assassin basically show up ready to take out the senators. I can't remember which one they were trying to kill or if they were just trying to kill both.
They were trying to kill both.
Okay, that makes more sense. So yeah, the trooper shows up, the assassin trooper, I'm calling them, shows up to kill one. They're able to capture them. You find out it's a clone. By the way, this is the second time we had that Asajj prediction and it failed immediately. I'm gonna be honest, AJ, you weren't the only one thinking. You just said it before I could say anything.
Yeah.
I was also thinking, I was like, oh, okay. So why because I was curious. I'm like, damn, why is she trying to kill senators? And then, like I said, we figure out after they're captured that it's a clone
Mhm.
and that the Empire is using clones. They're, I guess, re-brainwashing them because
Yeah.
they're re-brainwashing them and sending them out as assassins. Then Rex, his group, they meet up with the Bad Batch. They try to let them know that, but he's like, well, no, yeah, we got one, we know. And more are coming, essentially.
Mhm.
So this episode and a lot of the next episode, to be honest, I get why they put these two together because this just really felt like a long episode of okay, we're all back together for some point,
Mhm.
but also the Empire is trying to come and capture Omega again. We got to get out of here.
Yeah.
That's the gist of these two episodes. I think it's just only right that we talk about them together. Like I know they had a break in between the two, but this felt like one large episode in my
Mhm.
opinion. So Jamie, we'll go to you first. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I really like these two episodes together. It definitely makes sense why they released the two of them on the same day, like what you were saying. It's weird a little bit to me because I feel like it almost feels I don't know. There's like a lot of action, a lot of things going on, and it almost feels like we're coming up to on the end, but it's not nowhere near the end.
This might
So
have been mid-season because I think there's
yeah,
14 total, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
okay.
mid-season. So this could have felt like a mid-season finale type of deal.
Yeah. That is definitely, it was a lot of fun. It was great. It was interesting to have like the clones kind of have to again, I guess like a Bad Batch and Rex and like his people have to talk to other clones and be like, like think about what you're doing. Like is the working with the Empire is that making sense? And it was interesting to see that he was able to talk with Wolf at the end of the seventh episode and like kind of talk some sense into him like, bro, you're literally hunting a child. Like, does this make sense? Like
All
think
right,
about that.
R.I.P. Wolf. Wolf should have just said, "All right, we're with you now,"
No, he
because
survives.
Yeah.
He's in Rebels.
that's right, he is. That's right. I keep forgetting that this is between those.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm actually shocked now that he's in Rebels after seeing this. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I
I almost forgot too. I was
I
like,
was
damn.
thinking he was about to go die because I'm like, why would you like after you just disobeyed an order? Like, are you just gonna lie or what are you gonna do
Yeah,
now?
I'm curious how he got out of it. They need to
He
show
probably
something
didn't go
about
back.
that.
He probably didn't go back. I'm
Yeah, that's
saying,
fair.
I disobeyed
I,
orders. I can't go back now.
yeah, that's probably the only option at that point. But I also really liked the action and kind of bringing the group together to help protect Omega, but also to figure out what this freaking M count is, man. I want to know more. Rex, he like said it in the I think the 7th episode. Like, okay, you guys need to figure out why the Empire is chasing after Omega. What makes her so important? I'm like, yes, Rex, tell him, tell him. So hopefully we'll start making some progress now with figuring out like what is the M count and why it's so important to the Empire. And whether it's we had some theories about that in previous episodes as well, with maybe it being having some kind of gene for the Emperor to take advantage of so he can like come back to life or whatever. But I don't know. I like these episodes though.
Yeah, these were great episodes. One point I wanted to bring up before I go to you, AJ, is that's the second assassin. I don't know what his name was. I don't think they ever gave like a name for him, but that man was resilient. He
Yo, he
had
would not go down.
that man would not die. Like at the end of episode 6, when all of the rocks and everything fell on him, because he wasn't the only person in that room. The other person in that room was clearly dead. Like they were clearly gone, but he somehow gets out of the rocks with barely a scratch on him. Then later in the episode, when him and was it him and Crosshair fighting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. When they were fighting on the waterfalls, and he gets thrown down the waterfalls. They made a point to show how tall those waterfalls were. So clearly, I can feel like I think we all thought like, okay, that was the end of him. And then at the end of the episode, to see him crawl out of the water and basically like brush himself off, like, all right, now how am I going to do this next time? It's insane. And like you said, I enjoyed the episode overall, but I wanted to make note of that because one, we were already talking about the Lion King and Black Pantherish elements of that, where I thought Crosshair was about to get a "Is this your king?" moment and get tossed over the waterfall. I thought it was over for him, but that entire fight scene was fun. But AJ, yeah, let me hear your thoughts. How did you like the 2 episodes?
Yeah, I thought those were good back-to-back episodes. I'm
Mhm.
glad that they combined the two. So I assume the next back-to-back episodes are going to be very similar in
Mm-hmm.
action-wise and all of that. But yeah, I really did like these 2 episodes. The first episode was more like character based with getting back to Rex, getting back to his development with the Bad Batch and all of that.
Mhm.
And I really liked all of that. But the second episode is what sold everything for me. Like you guys said, the action was amazing. The samurai esque duel on a waterfall was amazing between Crosshair and the Hunter. I'm gonna call him the Hunter.
That works.
Or no, because we already got Hunter, the
Oh
assassin.
yeah, Assassin 2. I don't know.
Yeah.
Assassin Junior. I don't know.
But yeah, I really did like the whole, and they definitely did need to nerf Crosshair a little bit for this episode because
His
if he was
shots
like
were so
100%,
bad.
that would have been an easy win for him. But it definitely needed that. So hopefully he'll come back to normal once again. He felt like a little bit of a clone trooper, not a clone trooper, a stormtrooper with all those misses. But
100%.
but it is what it is. You gotta give him a shout out because he was as resilient as the assassin too. So
He
Yeah.
was. He was. But I think because one, the assassin also, when his shots were shooting, he was hitting. That man was 100%. Every shot he was hitting where he needed to go, it was on point. And I think just to see the dichotomy of that, and then you see when Hunter was trying to shoot him when he was coming out of the or like when he was coming out of like those hatches when they were going down the stairs. It was, man, come on, man, you better than this.
it's the force. It's the force. They were with the assassin.
Man, it had
Something.
something.
Yeah.
But one other thing that we didn't touch on, we talked about with episode 5 about the sort of the tensions there with that reunion, there was a little bit more tension here with the
Yeah.
reunion, like where
Mhm.
when Rex saw them and he's like, "Y'all just with him?" Like
It wasn't Rex. It was the other
you're
guy.
right. It wasn't Rex. You're
Yeah,
right. It was
I can't
Rex
remember
didn't
his
seem
name.
happy either though.
Yeah,
He also didn't. He just wasn't as vocal.
Yeah.
Oh, who was it? Crap, I
I
forgot his
don't
name. You're
know.
right. Either way, it was some tension, and
Mhm.
I don't remember how that got resolved.
it
I don't.
was Crosshair, talking about what happened in the Empire, and the Rex and the other guy. I can't remember the other guy's name, but
I'm trying to go find it now because
they
I
they were asking how his his relationship between him and Omega and all of
Mhm.
that, and how Crosshair was saying that he's all about obedience and trying to stay loyal to what he believes in, and how the Empire betrayed that and those two Rex and the other clone felt that, I guess, on an emotional level, and that's what resolved it.
which is fair. I mean, I guess if you tell somebody your story enough,
Yeah, you gotta give him a
he's
sob story.
yeah,
Yep.
he seemed genuine. We know it was pretty genuine just from seeing it, but I it was an interesting one. And then also the other tension was on the Empire side where when they when the other trooper showed up and the assassin was kind of still trying to do his own thing, and they're just letting him know like, no, this is my mission now.
Hmm.
You have to follow
Mhm.
my orders. And I think that was part of, well, it was just another interesting way to show that the Empire is the Empire, but a lot of people still do have their own motives.
There's different factions within the
Yeah,
Empire that
Yep.
they don't really communicate with each other, and that's
right.
part of the issue.
And so you see how it sort of ruins the end goal at points. And I think that was something, I think we talked about it in episode, like the first episodes, where how it makes for a good story. It's not
Yep.
just one invisible bad guy. It's the big bad, but also everybody else has their own reason for being part of this.
Yep.
Yep.
It feels more human, I guess.
Mhm. Everybody wants a piece.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's how it is in life.
Yep.
So we'll go one last, well, not one last, but we'll go back to our very favorite segment, prediction time. Where are we going from here?
Mm.
Jake, we'll start with you. And
Ooh.
I'm gonna take notes again.
Oh
Where do you think we're
gosh.
going?
Oh man, where are we going next?
Or
That
if
is a
that's too
good question.
difficult, we can adjust it to, because all of our predictions have pretty much been around when are we seeing Asajj?
Yeah.
What episode do you think she shows in now? Let's go that route instead.
Okay. We're in 7, maybe
Yes.
around like 10. Maybe around 10. That feels like a good. Well, actually, wait. Because the series ends with 14, right? Episode
15,
14.
15.
15.
15. Okay, maybe yeah, 10. 10 sounds like a good number to bring her in.
Okay. That
Mm.
is the first episode of the next 2 episode release day.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. I'm feeling really good now about that.
Okay. AJ, what are you thinking?
I'm gonna go episode 14.
Oh,
Damn.
AJ.
Episode
Damn.
14.
AJ, come
I'm gonna
Yo.
on.
go episode 14. It's titled Flash Strikes, so
It is.
I'm
It is.
assuming that's Asajj.
Okay. I'm actually going to go episode 11. I think she shows up at the end.
Dang.
Point of no return. Okay.
I think she shows up at the end of that one. Whatever is happening in those 2 episodes sort of leads to her introduction. The point of no return also sounds like an episode where like everything changes at this point.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
So if it happens in the 10 and 11 release, can I still be right?
no, it has to happen in the first, because they split the 2 episodes.
Oh.
If it was all one big episode, then I just like, yeah, sure.
It
But
kind of
no,
is.
they made sure to show us credits at the end of episode 6.
Ah, whatever. Okay.
So
Yeah. Outside of that, though, and like I don't really know. I guess they have to, now that Rex has told them like, hey, go figure out what's happening with the M count. They have to go either talk to somebody who has like the inside with the Empire, or go to like a base and try and see if they can download some information or something. I
yeah,
think.
I think outside of that too, like at some point they're going back to that Tantis base. That's
Hmm.
if Omega
Yeah.
has her way, they're going. If she had her way, they're going their next episode. To be honest, but
Yeah.
at some point in the season, they're for sure going back there, just
Hmm.
to because they have to at least try. I do think that this series is ending on a sad note. I'm gonna be honest. I don't see a happy ending for this series.
Hmm.
Y'all thought
And
I was lying.
nah, it's that's the tough thing about all of these inter-trilogy series. It's really tough to see any type of happy ending because we know what happens in the next series or in the next trilogy.
Yeah.
And you know that whatever they're trying to do, yes, there's ways that it can succeed and just not topple the empire, but it's really tough to see it. So like that always weighs in the back of my head. Like even when we were watching Kenobi, Mandalorian not so much obviously because that's afterwards, but you kind of knew what was gonna happen in the sequel trilogy. So it was still there's still some stuff with there. I'm just like, well, how does this get us to that?
The
But
Mandalorian is between
the
that and Rise of Skywalker stuff.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Even those ones because it's between two trilogies again.
Hmm.
You kind of know what the lay of the land is by the time we get to Rise of Skywalker. So everything that happens in the Mandalorian, you're like, well, at some point this just leads to that. And the way that they were, the way that the world was in the Rise of Skywalker or in Force Awakens, rather, um, they were pretty the First Order was pretty much in charge again. So it's like I always have that in the back of my head, and I just think this one more than any of the other ones is like this is leading us to sadness.
I could see that. I think, didn't AJ say Omega was gonna die?
Yeah, he
Yep.
did.
Oh, that would be so sad. That would be rough. That's also like the kind of like what you were saying. It's hard for a lot of these characters to live outside the series just because we know where everything's going. Because it'd be weird if somebody's like, "Yeah, I survived, had my happy ending," and then like we never hear about them again.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, I think that was why, and obviously it's a video game, but I think that's why uh, Jedi Survivor kind of made a better decision, like made an interesting decision. I want to say a better, but the way that they did it, they're sort of off universe, so to speak.
hmm,
So that character can survive outside of this because they're completely taken away from everything. So if they do come back, it's a well, we know why you weren't here for all of this. You
yeah.
were off universe.
Mm.
But you also can't do that for too many characters. Like it works for one or two characters. You can't start throwing like Omega in this other universe, Ahsoka in this other universe.
Well, they
You
already
can't.
did it with Ahsoka.
Fair. That's fair.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Maybe there's hope. I
Honestly, I
don't
think Ahsoka and
know.
Yeah.
what was it? Cal?
Yeah.
Cal
And I
are
guess
in the same
Marin. I
universe right
mean,
now.
we can't forget Marin. But yeah, that would make
Yeah,
sense. I
man.
mean,
Yeah. Shout out. Shout out.
Yeah.
but again, to the point, you can't start saying like, oh yeah, but also the Bad Batch made their way there. Like
Yeah, no.
then it starts getting
Mhm.
watered down. Then it's just like you start having bad storytelling.
Dang. Well, the
Not really
other thing
bad.
about that though, if Asajj is in this and she supposedly died, maybe somewhere down the line we see like old woman Omega like, I survived, y'all.
Oh,
I made
woman
what,
Omega.
what is this supposed to be her on the walker?
like I did it.
Oh my
See,
god!
there's hope.
I think that's a little bit of copium, Jamie. I will be
Old
honest.
woman.
Listen, if
Like that.
Asajj can do it, so can Omega.
But to be, I don't know how Assange survived. I'm gonna be honest. I don't. I need that story too.
It's the
Uh,
same way Darth Maul survived.
hey man, the Emperor also did it. Now that I think about it, anybody could come back. Honestly,
Anybody can come back.
anybody.
They don't got Dragon Balls.
Nah,
They
the
not
way
out.
the Emperor did it was way different between Maul though. So
That is true.
the Emperor technically didn't come back. It's just a clone.
Yeah, this is like you had a growth and it turned into another person.
Well, clone them up, clone them all
Maul
up.
was basically active.
Yeah, clone them all up. You make a clone of the other clone.
Yep,
Just clone the clone.
Clone
Yep,
the clone.
they're used to it.
We're gonna leave it at that. Clone the clone is where we're leaving this at. Before we get out of here, do you guys have anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think
It can
so.
be anything Star Wars related. It doesn't have to necessarily be tied to the Bad Batch. I think we got to all the other topics though, to be honest.
I just need the eclipse to happen.
The Eclipse.
Star Wars
What's
Eclipse.
this? Oh,
That's that game, right?
That's that
yeah.
game. I need it ASAP.
We haven't heard about that in
I
quite some
Longest time. I
time.
don't think it's coming
Man,
out.
Yeah.
man. Is
I-
Quantic Dream still around? I'm gonna be honest.
I
Yeah.
think they switched studios.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think they did. But I also think that it became like it was on hiatus. Like we'll see when they come back to it. I don't know.
Okay.
See, they could have been focusing on that instead of the goddamn remaster of.
That's a
It's a different studio.
It was, but I just gotta complain. Okay,
Yeah.
It's
I
that.
understand. I understand.
I'm looking now. I still um Quantic Dreams. I was this article on Games Radar as of 2 weeks ago, give or take. It's at the end of
Okay.
February.
Mhm.
They said that Quantic Dreams did respond, saying that there have been no delays since no launch date have been confirmed. So like they're still saying like, yo, we are still working on it.
Okay.
They had a launch date. What is the launch
No,
date?
there was no. They're saying
Oh,
we can't say that this has been delayed because we never said a launch date.
Yeah.
Oh.
They had said at the time when they had initially unveiled it, and that was like back in 2021. They
Mhm.
said that we're
Oh my
about 3
God.
to 4 years away from launch. 3
Yeah.
years would put it as this year or next year. And last, I guess the people have asked, they have said that like, yo, we're not saying that this has been delayed because we never put a date out. We just said this is about 3 to 4 years away from launch. So they're trying to say like, yo, no, this is still an active development.
Mm-hmm.
But what does that mean?
I mean, we could hear something by the end of this year, I guess, but I'm not gonna be looking out for it.
Yeah, every time somebody has asked, it's still simmering. They're cooking up something.
Mm. Okay.
Also, for the remake of Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, Games Radar put in an article talking about that the studio freed itself from failing with the 247 million deal.
That's right.
From
Yes,
Embracer.
it is
Yeah.
from
Saber
Inspire.
Interactive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're their own studio now. So that's
really good.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But it still sounds like it's going to be a long way to go for that.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know what projects they have like in the work, like what their lineup is, but I think the KOTOR it might get pushed back because that's definitely going to be a project you want to invest some money in, and they spent a lot of money buying themselves out of the embrace of death as they've been calling it. So
that's fair.
They got mobile games right now. Embracer Group.
So
if one of those is a gotcha, maybe they could get it back.
Shout out.
I'm looking at a Kotaku article from them, and they have sort of an image that they put out, sort of explaining what are the assets that are going and what are the assets that are staying.
Mm-hmm.
And it does say that a previously announced AAA game based on a major license, which everybody's assuming it has to be the KOTOR remake, is going with the buyer. So that would
Wait,
mean that so essentially the buyer in this aspect would be Saber Interactive because they bought themselves essentially to go independent.
Mm-hmm.
So to that, it sounds like that means that it should be on their radar because they still have that license.
Yeah.
But to
wait. So
Jamie's
they had
point,
to rebuy the license?
no, so
No.
they had to essentially buy like the rights to stuff. So like they're essentially going employee owned. I guess is
Got
probably
you.
the
Got
easiest
you.
way to put
Okay.
Yeah.
it. So you have to buy your company from your old company.
Yeah.
So again, I feel like I say it every time we talk anything video game and Star Wars. We're in a state of hope, everyone.
Oh goodness.
And good thing is hope is eternal. Um
Mm-hmm.
we got a lot of it going around, but
Wait. Hold
You
on.
know.
Hold
uh-oh.
Oh,
on.
go
Hold
ahead.
Uh-oh.
on. This is from Jason Schreier on Twitter
How
Ooh,
recent?
he could
2
be
days
the
ago.
angel or bringer of
2
death.
days
God.
ago.
This could be hell.
All right, I'm gonna read it. Embrace's official announcement of the deal is a little misleading. Saber is actually bringing along four games, Metro, and Zen Studios Pinball through options, which combined with liabilities amount to a purchase of around 500 million, as Bloomberg reported last month. So
Yeah. Okay. So they spent a lot more money than I thought.
So they
yeah,
they, they clearly
instead of the initial 247 is 500.
Yeah.
all I'm hearing out
Um.
of that is they got more money than we thought they did. That's all.
I mean, true,
I
but
mean, not anymore. They just
yeah,
spent
not
like a lot
anymore.
of money.
You don't throw down 500 million if that's all you got. You throw down
I
500.
I mean, if you're literally
I
people are calling Embracer the embrace of death, if
No,
it's
I know.
that or die, pay
No,
the money.
I know.
Pay the money. That's crazy. But I will say, like, I don't know, Didge, to your point about like the Star Wars games and being in a constant state of hope. Like, I feel like Jedi Survivor has done a lot of good things for
Mhm.
Star Wars games. We also had
Outlaws is coming out hopefully this
Outlaws
year.
is coming this year. I feel pretty confident in that. I feel pretty confident it's coming this year.
Outlaws. I'm excited for Outlaws.
Yeah, we still
That's
don't have a
cool.
release date. I think um
They
there was gameplay footage though. I think it was this week. It was either this week or I'll be honest.
Let's see.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Go
I read
Twitter.
a IGN article on it.
Outlaws.
I think it's just when is it?
I think it could be a summer release. Summer release, that sounds fun. And plus, as far as we know, like the back half of this year um is pretty empty. So it could make a big splash coming out around the summertime. Because we
Mm-hmm.
know Indiana Jones and something else is coming out at the end of this year. Hellblade comes out
Hellblade
soonish,
comes
right?
out next month.
Next
No,
month,
May.
May. Okay, so it could come out June, July, something
May
like that.
21st.
So yeah, that's interesting. So we'll keep looking at that, and then we'll have more to talk about next time.
Yeah.
But before we get out of here, Jamie, where can the people find you, and what do you have coming up?
Yeah, the people can find me at swiper_prime for a lot of the content I've been posting lately and been streaming, I guess, on Twitch under the same username. I have been doing a let's play of Ocarina of Time. The new part actually went up as of the time of recording this, so you guys will be able to check that out. Link is finally a teenager, I guess. So we got our big pants, our big boy pants on, and we're going to go meet all 5 stages and then fight Ganondorf. So that'll be fun. And I've been working on the Swiper Shampoo channel. I'm trying to make a character model for that. I'm thinking about I'm like I don't know if I'm too deep to be documenting the progress or not, but maybe I'll start documenting now so you guys can kind of see the behind the scenes of like learning Blender and things like that. But hopefully we'll have it out by the end of this month. Hopefully.
Say next month.
Okay.
Say the end of next month.
I already changed my bet, AJ. I can't do it again. I can't do it
I
again.
believe in you, Jamie. I believe in you.
Thank you.
Mm,
At this point, I have a backup, so I'm like, maybe if it gets to down to the wire, we could just do the backup, but it'll work out. But yeah, that's what I got going on.
nice. I'm curious to see if you stick to the date.
I'm gonna try.
That's all we can ask for. That to be fair, that is really all we can ask for. I also have faith in you. But AJ, where can the people find you and what you got coming up?
You can find me on Twitter 24/7,
Mhm.
KNerd89. You can
That's the
also
truth.
find me
Mm-hmm.
writing articles at Collider. I still got the March list that should be coming up within this week for anime. And then I have another article that will be coming up called Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night. And
Mm.
that's coming out next month, and I'm really excited for it. I'm doing everything we know so far article on that, and that's just about it.
Sick.
All right, nice. You can find me at dig_DEE. You can find a lot of the stuff that I do regarding some of the games that I play, some of the non Geekset related stuff on my YouTube channel at DigD. There will be some stuff, regarding just gameplay in general. I'm gonna start uploading some of the behind the scenes of sort of my journey with Unreal.
Yes.
I've
Ah,
finally finished a very long standing project that I've been working on, and I've been recording status updates of it. So now I want to sit
Yay.
down and sort of talk my way through that,
We need
and
to
that
do a director's cut. I want to be in the
yeah,
I'm
commentary.
excited for it. I'm excited for it.
that's gonna be really fun. So you can see everything from start to finish, and then as I continue on through that journey, there are a couple other projects that I'm working on within Unreal, and I think I'm gonna continue on that same path. So that's gonna be a project in and of itself. But then also, obviously, you're already on the Geekset podcast page if you're listening to this or watching. Episodes come out bi-weekly. There are also our sports podcast. There's a lot of stuff. Just hit that bell in the corner and be notified. Don't forget to also find Jamie, AJ sometimes, and myself on the Chatter After Live.
I'll be here Monday. I'll be there Monday.
We'll be there tonight because this is coming out Monday morning. Tonight, you can
Okay.
catch AJ and I on there as we do our
Fan cast for
fan
Teen
cast of the
Titans.
Teen Titans. It's gonna be an interesting one. I'll be honest, if you're listening to it as of recording, I still don't have my list done.
I have mine
I should
done.
hopefully have mine done as of this morning, but as of recording time, I don't have it done, and we'll see what happens. Mike might get a last minute
Procrastination is a
list,
bitch.
but yeah, you can find us there. But until next time, peace out.
Peace.
So